Go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Super Bowl week in Las Vegas. Apparently the desert is aflood. The heavens have opened up. The rains all throughout Nevada. A gray, ugly, wet day. And the media. We love to complain, don't we? I mean, does anyone complain, honestly? Like the media, we get free golf, we get free food, we get free opportunities to do this, free opportunities to do that. Yet most of us are overfed, most of us are incredibly annoying, and most of us go out of our way to find something to complain about. Yeah, 19 years ago, it was right here in Duval, the Super Bowl. I was not here, I was in Chicago. It was about 20 degrees, and I just remember the tone. I was dropping off my kids, daycare, nursery school, or kindergarten. I don't know what it was. Picking them up, dropping them off. Wife working at the time. I did overnights in Chicago. I heard all these folks calling in with reports on ESPN 1000 and the Score 670, which I was lucky enough to be on at night. And, oh, my God, it's so awful out here. The weather's terrible. There's no place to eat. They're not ready for the Super Bowl. I wonder if Vegas is going to get that type of treatment. I wonder if the folks out there will get after the people in Las Vegas. My guess is probably not, because Vegas has a way to make everyone happy, right? Like that knock on your hotel door later on tonight. Just saying. We will see what actually does take place. And on top of that, you get things started with San Francisco really miffed about the practice field out on the campus of the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Unacceptable. So here we are the week of the Super Bowl, and all the money that has been spent. They just had what? Was it NASCAR that was out there? It might have been open wheel racing that is out there. We watched the Grammys last night. They showed U2 live from the Sphere. You got everything that makes that city just so remarkable. I mean, unlike any place else in the United States of America, but apparently the things that are most important, like being able to practice all week, at least on the side of San Francisco, is unacceptable at this point. The NFL put in a sod field on top of field turf, and it's begun to break apart. So we'll keep you updated on that story. I know that is something that is certainly on your mind, right? And you need to know. Then you go to Kansas City, and I think it's a fair point, right? I usually don't get into, personal business that isn't directly involved with the players or coaches on a team. But we find out about Pat Mahomes' dad, his third DUI. And I read a couple of things today that were really intriguing. The lack of the message. Remember Andy Reid's son involved in a major accident a couple of years ago, right before the Super Bowl. A young girl to this day is nowhere near 100%. Andy Reid's son, the former outside linebacker coach for the Kansas City Chiefs, is behind bars. So, we preach, and we often say, do as I say, right? And we always are spreading the gospel. We're always coming out saying, do this, do that, do this, don't do that. Well, here's an example, directly within that family. Andy Reid to Pat Mahomes. I happen to think Mahomes is so good. I happen to think that Mahomes is such a professional that he's not going to be bothered by this. However, this same media we're talking about, they love these type of stories. You notice the week of the Super Bowl, there's very little talk about the actual game. It's always about the sidebar stories. The greatest example of all was, I don't remember if we were in Seattle or Phoenix or no matter where it was, out on Radio Row during the Deflategate Tom Brady Super Bowl. I've never seen anything like it. It's like everyone and every guest, that's all they would do all they were doing was talking about, the air taken out of the ball and the ounces within a football. And before you know it, the game's here. And you really don't even break it down. So Mahomes has been in this situation before. He's won Super Bowls. He's lost Super Bowls. But I do think for others, this could end up being a distraction just because you're going to be asked about it again and again and again. Even if you have someone like Shannon Sharp who will stand up in front of everyone and say, don't ask Ray Lewis about the murder. Don't ask Ray Lewis about the knife. Don't ask Ray Lewis about homicide right there in Atlanta. He's not going to ask the question. He's not going to answer the question. We all saw it, right? We all saw Shannon Sharp, that is. And you can't control the media. The ego within the media is almost as big, and in some cases as big, as the game, as the players in the game, the coaches in the game. And they're so sensitive that when you tell them not to do something, it's like a bad 2-year-old child. They're going to turn right around and do it anyway. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see what actually does happen with all of this. I am now just shocked. I'm watching here from inside our studio at Roger Goodell. It looks like he's got Tracy Wolfson up with him. Tracy, of course, longtime sideline reporter with CBS Sports. They will be doing this year's Super Bowl. Tracy on the sideline. Jim Nantz will call it with Tony Romo. And Roger Goodell is a commissioner of the NFL. He has been sizzled the last couple of years during his State of the NFL address, most prominently by Jim Trotter. In consecutive years, Jim Trotter asked Roger Goodell about the lack of diversity at NFL Network, at NFL.com, that entire entity, and he ended up losing his job a few months after he put him on the spot last year at this time. Roger Goodell had no answer to the question. And again, it was in consecutive years. This wasn't the first time he was asked it. He was also asked it the year prior, the identical question, and he didn't have an answer. The State of the Union by Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL, has always been on a Wednesday. This year, he changed it to a Monday. Now, let's consider the following. For starters, not everyone is there, okay? Many members of the media begin to get in tonight, maybe tomorrow, some tomorrow night. And I know hotels, they're obviously going to gouge you out there, and they try to get you for an entire week. But when you are a radio station or a television station, or you are right online or whatever it may be, you know, your bosses are always trying to bean count, if you will, right? Find a way to save a little bit of cash. Can you slice a day off here, slice a day off there? Maybe limit the amount of people from your company that are actually going out to the Super Bowl in Radio Row. So what does the commissioner of the league do? Instead, he drops his always Wednesday press conference on a Monday, and he makes it invitational only. Be interesting to see if the NFL and NFL Network, if they actually do show the crowd who is in the media as this is actually taking place right now. It's on an invite basis only, which is absolutely positively totally wrong. If you are credentialed for Radio Row, if you are credentialed to cover all of these events, if you are credentialed to go to the game, you're not credentialed to go to the commissioner's press conference? Think about this for a moment. This guy's making more than $60 million a year, and he's now delegating his authority on who can ask questions and who cannot, simply because he was burnt in consecutive years live on TV. We all saw it. It's really the only thing we remember from his recent press conferences. So are we surprised? Yes, actually I am. I'd love to be able to sit here and tell you right now that I'm not surprised, that this is just typical greed and that the rich get richer and that the owners love it because Goodell is out there making more and more and more and more money for the 32 NFL owners. And that's simply why he is there. But this guy has said things the last couple of years, like, for instance, we added a 17th game, and with everything around CTE, we noticed that concussions actually did drop. By playing more games, we had less concussions, according to Roger Goodell. Remember last year, he was asked about that same question and how the results, the data, did say much more as far as CTE. Remember Roger Goodell's answer last year? Doctors. Doctors are so thorough now on their testing, and I'm paraphrasing, about a concussion or a minor concussion or whatever, that their advanced testing is why CTE is up. Not because of the injuries on the field, not because more games. And I'm not trying to ruin the more games. We went from 16 to 17. We went from 2 byes in the AFC, 2 byes in the NFC, to only 1 bye now per conference. Therefore, we have more wild card games during wild card weekend. You love it. I love it. We all love it. As football fans, give us more. But here's the commissioner answering a question by saying that doctors have advanced technology. And that's why they're understanding and figuring out a better way to actually look for CTE. This is the commissioner of the biggest entity in all of entertainment, the NFL, so far ahead of everything else. You can't even compare it to Major League Baseball or the NBA. I guess the NBA has a massive global experience. I was talking about it. My daughter's in Paris. She's over there, started school today. And there's zero football over there. There's soccer, but honestly, over there, the most popular American sport is, without question, the NBA. So the NBA has a little bit of a global feel to it, and David Stern was really, big with that for decades while he was the commissioner. There's a man right there, David Stern, who answered questions, whether you liked him or disliked him. Gary Bettman, is there a commission? And, Rob Manfred can enter the fray. Right? And, you can go through the years of Bud Selig, and you can go back to Bart Giamante and everyone else and look at the criticism. Peter Uberroth, right? Peter Rozelle. You can look at commissioners in the NFL and Major League Baseball forever. There's always been controversy. But everyone I mentioned took on the questions, answered the questions, whether it was nothing more than lip service, whether it was just spinning and directing everything that was thrown their way into some sort of canned answer where you never got anything. And there were other times where they gave you flat, brutal truth. Roger Goodell does nothing. This is wrestling. This is a scripted interview session with hand-picked members of the media to the commissioner of the league that you love and I love. Does it really matter? For a lot of you, probably not. For a lot of you, who cares, Ballou? What's the big deal? It doesn't matter, right? I mean, what are you telling me now? The Jaguars are going to have a home and away again in London this year? Sure. The Jaguars looking to play in Germany, or the Jaguars looking to, it was Roger Goodell recently said, right, how about take a Super Bowl and put that overseas? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine a Super Bowl being played in Germany? Can you imagine a Super Bowl being played in London? Roger Goodell said that. Okay? You know what the owners are thinking? Give it to me. That's more money. That's more money for me. That's more money for my ownership group. You don't want it. I don't want. Can you imagine having a Super Bowl at 9:30 a.m. or whatever it is? That's when the Jags played back-to-back games. I guess that was 1 o'clock over there, 9:30 our time. I understand the Super Bowl was pushed back another 5 or 6 hours, but there you have it. I looked all day. They didn't even announce what time this would start. Apparently it has started at 6 o'clock. I got to imagine there's going to be a lot of juicy stuff coming out of this. Once we have answers, we will, in fact, share them with you over the next couple of hours. All right, we're going to be real busy here tonight. No doubt about it. It's another week. Looking forward to it. It is Super Bowl week. And, you know, I find myself right now leaning towards Kansas City. I have to take the experience here. I have to take the fact that the Chiefs have been here. I also have to look directly at two guys. Who are you going to take? Patrick Mahomes or Brock Purdy? It's as simple as that, right? And Purdy's a manager. Cam Newton ripping him. Last week he said he's the 10th best player on the team. Seems like people want to find a way to pick on Brock Purdy, who was the last player selected in the draft just a couple of years ago. That's the other side of all this that frankly, I do not think is getting enough attention. We're 80 days away from the NFL draft. We're 10 minutes away from bringing on another guest in Dustin Adams, who covers the NFL draft for A to Z Sports. He was in Mobile all week for the Senior Bowl. And our conversations about trying to make the team that you cover better. In my mind, it's all about the offensive line for the Jaguars. And obviously 3 years ago, they used their top overall pick to get a quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. But what is it going to say about this league? If you look at the mock drafts that are out this year, whether it's Caleb Williams, whether it's Drake May, or anyone else, we know that quarterbacks always end up exploding at the end. And they move up the draft. And, you know, maybe the best example of that was a few years ago was Baker Mayfield. And during his final year at Oklahoma, he wasn't even mentioned in the first round of a mock draft. And then all of a sudden, you know, he just shot up and ended up being the top pick overall. But what is this going to say about this game and all of the work, all of the effort, the science that goes into it, the mathematics and the analytics that go into it, when you can basically take a throwaway pick, a compensatory 7th-round pick, Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick in the draft, and he wins a Super Bowl this early in his career? That's absolutely bizarre, and it could happen. I'm leaning towards Mahomes. I think the best player in the game will rise to the challenge against this great San Francisco defense. But, of course, we have all week to talk about that, and it's going to be a whole heck of a lot of fun. All right, it's great to have things with us right here. Another big week here. You know, there's so much I want to get into, and we're going to do that over the next couple of hours. I have some college football coming up in a little bit. I have some golf coming up in a little bit. Certainly have much more on the Jaguars coming up in just a couple of minutes. As I said, our guest will join us after the Senior Bowl, which was played on Saturday. Do you want to tell you that opening comments are brought to you by Shmunez Vision? Once again, depending on how you look at it, the whole process in and around your eyes is like everything else. It can be a racket if you don't trust who you're going to, right? They're going to tell you they brought in some new advanced equipment, and this is the best thing right now that you can possibly have, and it's going to cost you twice as much, but it really does work. And you and I have been conditioned that if it costs more, it must be better, right? For the most part, yeah, but not when it comes to your eyes. Instead, you need to go to a practice that you can trust. Shmunez Vision. Getting your eyes checked is one thing, no doubt. What about medical surgical eye care? I had eye surgery on my right eye 8.5 years ago. Maybe you have an issue right now with your cornea, or you have, spotting in your eyes, bloodshot eyes. I don't know. It could be anything, and you're concerned about it. Maybe you think it's a cataract scenario where you need surgery. You may. If so, they are it. They also may have a simple remedy for you that is not surgery. It's so much that they can provide. So I want you to check them out online. Just go to Shmunez Vision. That is Shmunez Vision, and get everything from those great folks located out at the beach. That is Shmunez Vision. Plenty to do right here on a Monday alongside JJ LaSelva. My name is Rick Ballou. We call this Into the Night.
We call Jacksonville home because it is our home. Our home sweet home. Home sweet 1010XL, Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Is your roof showing signs of wear and tear? Well, don't wait for problems to escalate. Call Universal Roofing Contracting today to schedule your complimentary roof inspection. Right now, get 15% off roof replacement or repairs, plus flexible financing. This offer expires February 29th and restrictions apply. Universal Roofing Contracting, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
I'm Taylor Rose with our Remedy Staffing Westside office off of Normandy Boulevard. We are helping great people find great jobs. Remedy has helped some of the best employers in Jacksonville find talented job seekers like you for over 25 years. Our current job openings range from entry-level distribution center pickers to equipment operators. Apply today at remedygoodjobs.com. Don't wait. Apply at remedygoodjobs.com now.
Listen up, poker players. The Run Good Poker Series is coming to Best Bet Jacksonville from March 14th to the 24th. The Run Good Poker Series features 10 poker events, including the $1,200 no-limit hold'em main event with a $300,000 guaranteed prize pool, and event number 1, $400 no-limit hold'em with a $100,000 guarantee. Win your way into the tournament through satellite starting March 2nd and running throughout the month at Best Bet Jacksonville. Check out the Run Good Series structures and details at bestbetjacks.com.
The big game is in the near future, and Sonny's Barbecue is here to help. For your chance to win a barbecue feast for the big game, text Sonny's to 641-1010. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmaster since '68.
It's the day all the hard work and sacrifice pays off for the student and their family.
It's a major rush.
Find out who's going where.
What's going to happen?
National Signing Day on 1010XL is brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic Services.
Bueller Air Conditioning presents
Are You Cool?
Today's lucky contestant, a coffee filter repairman from Jacksonville Beach. Meet Dave Carvelas.
Great to be here, Pat.
No time to chit-chat, Dave. Here's your question. Your AC has been acting up. Do you A, ignore it and hope it gets better on its own? 2, take off all your clothes when you watch TV and hope that does the trick? Or C, call Bueller Air Conditioning?
Oh, jeez. I do like to sit around with no pants on.
5 seconds, Dave.
I'll say C. Call Bueller.
That's right, Dave. A quick call to Bueller will have our expert AC technicians at your door, usually the same day, to make sure that you are cool.
Can I still watch the game with no pants on?
It's America, Dave. Knock yourself out.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Exciting news from Leonard Truck Accessories in Jacksonville on Blanding Boulevard. Stocking brands like Real Truck, UWS, WeatherGuard, Carry-On Trailers, and more. The best deals with the best prices only at Leonard Truck Accessories on Blanding Boulevard. Leonard, your truck, your style.
This is Hayes Carline for SkyLife Elite. Are you tired of canceled flights, unruly passengers, and layovers? Call my friends at SkyLife Elite. Consider using private charter flights for your next adventure. Yes, you can afford it. Make your own schedule. Fly direct. Drive your car to Craig Airport and get directly on the plane. SkyLife Elite can make that happen. Call 490-9332. Go to flyskylife.com and find them on social media. Fly SkyLife Elite, North Florida's premier private air charter.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
All right, Dustin Adams is good enough to join us because I know he wants to be piped in to Roger Goodell, getting all the tough questions asked to him today by his hand-picked media. in Las Vegas, so I know we'll have a ton on that, but we do want to bring in Destin Adams. He does cover the Colts, also does great draft work as an NFL draft analyst from A to Z Sports, and he goes into the night with Rick Ballou. Good to see that you've made it back from Mobile, Alabama. How you doing, Destin?
Doing good. Loved being able to sleep in my own bed the last couple of nights, and can't believe I wasn't on Roger Goodell's selected list to ask some of these scripted questions.
Yeah, it's a disappointment. There's no question about it. But anyway, that's that. You got a much better, I thought, assignment. The Senior Bowl is outstanding, and what an offensive line class. A lot of people think that this may be the best offensive tackle class that we've seen in a number of years.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so many day one starters. I mean, and we got to see a lot of them down at the Senior Bowl. I think some people thought because there wasn't those two blue chip guys down in Mobile and Joe Olu, that this class wasn't going to be as fun to watch. But I think we got to see 3 to 4, maybe 5 other tackles really make their case to be first-round guys just down in Mobile alone.
You obviously, with your analyst work as a draft, you're familiar with all 32 teams, but you also have a pretty good feel as to what's going on here in Duval, as you also do cover directly the Indianapolis Colts. All right, I am under the opinion that this team is not going to take the next step unless they significantly improve the offensive line. Let's get to Jackson Powers Johnson, a center out of Oregon. He's my pick now, 80 days out. I know he was slow with a hamstring and also had some work in at guard. Give us your thoughts on him.
Yeah, I mean, those first 2 days were dominant from him to where it made it to where that hamstring injury that kind of limited his work on that third day. I don't think it even mattered NFL team-wise. Anybody that had drawn the Jackson Powers assignment in practice, they were licking their wounds afterwards because Powers was bringing it all week long. I think he cemented his stake as the number one center in this class, probably the only center that's going to hear his name called on day one. Jacksonville is definitely a spot to watch there at 17. I love some of these corner fits for Jacksonville as well, though, I got to say.
All right, well, I want to stay with the offensive line, but let's get to that now, because I read every mock and I see corners, I see wide receivers, I see pass rush ends. Give us your thoughts. Where do you see them going?
Yeah, so I actually have a mock draft that will either be going out this evening or early tomorrow morning, and I'll give you the sneak peek. I have them taking Cooper DeJean out of Iowa. I think DeJean is a little bit unique as a corner because he's played both safety spots, has played in the nickel, can play on the outside. And I think Jacksonville has so many needs in the secondary that a guy like Cooper DeJean can come in, battle in training camp day one at so many different spots that it allows them some flexibility there. I will say that Jackson Powers Johnson goes one pick before them in my mock, so he wasn't available for me to select there.
Okay, so you had him at 16, and yeah, that was interesting. As not always is a center, if not certainly a guard, a guy that would go that high in the first round. But I'm looking around. I think there's 6 or 7 centers in the league right now that did go in the first round, and that included Baltimore and Kansas City when they played a couple of Sundays ago. 2 first-round centers there. All right, a little bit more on Cooper DeJean. Interesting because Darius Williams had a really good year, but he could be a cap casualty depending on what Trent Baalke is going to do. He's also in the final year of his contract. And on the other side, you look at Tyson Campbell, who didn't have as good of a 2023 season as he did in 2022. He is also in the final year of his contract. So back to Cooper DeJean. What really stands out for him as far as you're concerned?
Yeah, I mean, I really love that flexibility. Like I said, I love that he can come in day one, can play in the nickel of the slot, which I think could help a team like Jacksonville. But he also has the ability to drop back, be the single high safety. I think he can play in the box and he can tackle well. I don't think you always see rookie corners that can tackle well. So that being a strength of his early on, I think is going to be able to get him on an NFL field earlier rather than later. And I think just getting impactful players on the secondary is something that Jacksonville is going to have to circle this offseason. So Cooper DeJean has been one of my favorites to mock there just because I think he can almost check multiple boxes. in one pick for the Jaguars.
Talking with Destin Adams, he was at the Senior Bowl all last week in Mobile, Alabama. You can get everything from him. Go to A to Z Sports. He is an NFL draft analyst. Okay, not first-round guys, and obviously Jacksonville is going to have to figure out, do you give Calvin Ridley a long-term deal? If so, you lose a second-round pick to Atlanta. If you just allow him to leave via free agency, it's going to cost them a third-round pick. We're aware of that. But a couple of other guys that if it's not Jackson Powers Johnson, who could go to Jacksonville at center, but not in the first round. UConn's Christian Haynes. What did you see there? And also out of Alabama, Cedric Van Pran.
Yeah, I mean, Hayes had a really solid week. He got named guard for the best guard of the week for his team even. I think he is not as being as dominant as a guy like Jackson Powers, but I think he stacked good days to the point where he really turned heads because he just didn't have any negative performances. Looking at some other interior guys that they could look at, I mean, Dominic Puny out of Kansas, I think he's a guy that can kind of play a little bit of everywhere. He can play both tackle spots. He can play both guard spots. He had a really dominant week as well. And then center-wise, he wasn't at the Senior Bowl, but I've heard a lot of NFL teams like Zach Frazier, and he's the guy that I'm kind of circling is probably going to be the second center selected. So that's definitely a guy to watch if Jacksonville bypasses center in the first.
Heard a lot about smaller wide receivers, slot guys. Ladd McConkey, comes to mind, and others as well. Jacksonville has a couple of guys. They're going to restructure Christian Kirk, and they obviously, they do have some youth there with Washington. But what about a big-bodied wide receiver? Calvin Ridley's not a big body. He's only 6'1", but if they let go of him, the thinking is Trevor Lawrence needs, a guy with some size, 6'3", 6'4". Did you see any big wide receivers in Mobile?
Yeah, I mean, you can't miss Johnny Wilson out of Florida State. Big body. I think he may switch to tight end when it comes to actually listening to NFL decision makers and seeing that probably will be better for his stock. When looking at Mobile big bodies, Devontae Walker didn't have a great week. He had a lot of drops. He measured in about 6'2.5", so just under 6'3". But NFL decision makers that I talked to in Mobile love his size, love his speed. He was still creating a bunch of separation for his size at Mobile. Struggled with some drops all week long, really. Even in the game, you saw it. I think teams are going to hope that was a one-time thing. He only had 3 drops all of last season at North Carolina. So I don't think that's as big of an issue as that we saw in Mobile. And I think teams are going to be higher on him than someone like me who had to watch him struggle all week.
All right, interesting stuff. Hey, Destin, every year quarterbacks rise, and I know Penix took himself out before the game. Bo Nix did play. When you're a team like Jacksonville and you have a quarterback, you'd like to see as many QBs go in the first 16 slots so you can get the best, quote-unquote, positional player on the board. With that said, what's your estimate right now? I mean, obviously May and Caleb, but how many quarterbacks do you think go in the first 16 picks?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was the question that was being asked the most at networking events in Mobile. The first question is how many quarterbacks are going to go in the first round. And the second question was, is quarterback 4 down here in Mobile right now? For the first question, if someone put the over-under at 4.5 quarterbacks in the first round, I would take the under. I think 4 is that magic number that we probably see. I think 3 is probably what we see before the Jacksonville Jaguars will pick. Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May being those 3. And then the name I kept hearing is that 4th option that teams are a little bit higher on than some people online is Michigan's J.J. McCarthy. I think there's a few different teams at that latter end of the first round that could be looking to add him and let him sit behind a veteran for a year or two and develop, being a younger quarterback as he is. So I think 4 quarterbacks is probably my best guess right now for how many we hear in the first round.
All right, very interesting. As we say goodbye, I know you had your ear to the wall. Anything juicy coming out of the AFC South that you picked up last week?
Nothing crazy. I mean, the Colts, obviously, their entire brass was there. a year removed from hiring Shane Steichen. So it was good to see that entire staff in Mobile this year after having to miss it last year. I saw decision makers for all 4 teams in the AFC South there, and all 4 teams have a pretty solid history of drafting Senior Bowl guys. So it'll be interesting to kind of see how many of these guys end up in the AFC South next year. Nothing super juicy that I can share, really. I mean, the big talk was, are the Bears going to trade that number 1 pick all week long? That was what everyone was talking about. And from my understanding, I think most people around the league are just starting to believe that the Bears are going to stand pat and they're going to select a quarterback and probably move Justin Fields elsewhere.
All right. That'll be a lot of fun. You can get everything from Destin Adams. Just go to Twitter, and he is at the Destin. That's DESTIN, like right down the road here on the Panhandle, right around Panama City and Fort Walton Beach, beautiful Destin Beach. So at the Destin Adams, you can get it all from him. Appreciate the time, Destin. We'll do it again. Thank you.
Anytime, man. Thanks for having me.
There he goes. Does a nice job. I enjoyed his reports this past week from Mobile. NFL draft analyst for A to Z Sports. Good stuff there. The latest mock draft, one that came out today, this is from Lance Zierling, who's based out of Houston. It's crazy, right? Chicago at 1, Caleb Williams. Washington at 2, Jaden Daniels. New England at 3, Marvin Harrison Jr. Arizona at 4, going with a wide receiver in Adunze out of UW. Drake May goes 5th to Atlanta. So the first 5 picks are all offensive picks, and 3 of them are quarterbacks. The 6th pick is with the New York Giants. That's the talented tackle out of Oregon State. I think it's Fuaga is how you pronounce his name. Could be wrong. Number 7, Tennessee, Joe Alt. So your top 7 players are offensive. The first defensive player goes to the Los Angeles Chargers, and this is says here, a trade with Atlanta. Terrian Arnold is who they have. So that's the first defensive player off the board. This is crazy, man. And then you have the Bears at 9, Malik Neighbors out of LSU. And then number 10, New York, J.C. Latham, on offensive lineman out of Bama. 9 of your top 10 picks in this year's draft are offensive picks. For what it's worth, Verse goes 11th to the Vikings out of Florida State. Back to the quarterback in J.J. McCarthy to Denver at 12. So that's your 4th quarterback in the top 12. Let's see a couple of others. Brock Bowers goes a pick ahead, or 2 picks ahead of Jacksonville. He goes 15th overall to Indianapolis. And then the Jaguars here drafting a corner, getting the Quinion Mitchell youngster out of Toledo. All right, so not going to a Power 5 school. Let's see here. He's 6 foot 196. And we'll have all the measurables on him later this month once the NFL Combine does officially get underway. So there's a couple of corners. This one that came in today from, who did I say? Lance Zierling. And our last guest has Cooper DeJean. Let's see where he is here on the first round. Let's take a quick look at this before we get to our first, or make that our second break of the program. I don't see him here in the first round. The guy that I like, Jackson Powers Johnson out of Oregon, they have him going 27th overall to Arizona. And nope, not in the first round here. But certainly there's a ton of mock drafts that are out there. So, yeah, corner in the first round. I don't love it. As a matter of fact, I'm directly opposed to it. But you have to address offensive line. Whether you're going to do that by restructuring some deals. I mean, depending on who you talk to. I heard Mike DiRocco earlier today. He thinks Cam returns. You know, they're going to do something with Brandon Sheriff. To me, you're just piling on more dead cap money in the future. You know, is Anton going from the right to the left? Is Luke Fortner going to get any stronger at center? Are they going to bring back Ezra Cleveland? Do they, believe they can get something out of a guy like Cooper Hodges, who basically had a redshirt season on injured reserve? He was a 7th-round draft pick. Right? Others are saying, hey, Ballou, Brock Purdy was a 7th-round draft pick. That's what makes this thing so, just so incredible. And the Jags, it's going to be a blast. It is. Every decision they make is going to be very intriguing to witness and to look at, whether you agree with the moves or disagree. All right, tonight's show brought to you by Patriot Roofing Services, specializing in all types of commercial and residential roofing and repairs, gutters, sun tubes, skylights, 10-year workmanship warranty. Just give my buddy Mark Tozzolo a call, 982-4052. Man, we had some crazy winds over the weekend, right? Some like a tornado warning and what have you. So you got to make sure your business or your home, everything is set with your roof, whether you need a new roof or you just need roofing repairs. And you'll deal strictly with Mark at Patriot Roofing Services. No subcontractors, licensed and insured, financing available. Again, check them out online. Go to Patriot Roofing. And whether it's your home or business, go to Patriot Roofing. All right, when we come back, let's check in with our buddy JJ LaSalva. Let's give you the very latest as to what is coming out of Las Vegas as Roger Goodell gives us his state of the NFL address. Yeah, it's moved up. It's typically on Wednesday. Instead, he's doing it right here on a Monday. So we'll have some thoughts on that. And as always, if you want to get involved with the show, the best way to do it is on our text line, which is brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. That number is 641-1010.
The Gators are here.
Got it to beat the buzzer.
Florida basketball.
Chop this one up for the Gators.
Hear the Florida Gators all season on 1010XL, Jacksonville's Gators station.
A new vehicle come to Key Buick GMC where we never have markups on our vehicles. In addition, Key Buick GMC is the only Buick GMC dealer with a lifetime powertrain warranty on all new Buicks and GMCs. It's a new year. Time to do some service checkups. Key has oil changes specials on most vehicles plus a tire match guarantee. Please check out our service specials at our website. Go to KeyBuickGMC.com. We're always professional grade on the corner of Southside and Gate. KeyBuickGMC.com.
This is head coach Matthew Driscoll from the UNF men's basketball team. When our players suffer an orthopedic injury, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists gets our players back on the court pain-free.
We appreciate the endorsements from our high school and college coaches. This is Dr. Kevin Murphy. The next time you need orthopedic care, you can rely on our team at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Get ready for an extraordinary weekend at 1-to-1 Financial Ballpark. It's the inaugural Jacksonville College Baseball Classic, February 23rd to the 25th. It's Division I baseball at its best. Witness intense competition as Auburn, University of Iowa, University of Virginia, and Wichita State battle it out in a round-robin tournament format. It's a weekend of baseball you won't want to miss. To get your tickets and more information, visit jaxcbc.com.
Hicken here. When it comes to your eye health, you want to make the winning move. That's where Bow 9 Associates comes in. February, it's the month of love. And what better way to show some love than taking care of your family's vision? Bow 9 isn't just about seeing clearly. They're about making sure your eye game is in its prime. And folks, they got not one, not two, but 3 convenient locations across town. I call that home court advantage. So call Bow 9 Associates and schedule your winning eye exam. Bow 9 Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. By now, everyone has heard about saving money on their energy bills. There are all sorts of things you can do to cut energy costs, but most people don't think about their windows.
But Window World knows that the biggest energy loss in almost every home is the windows. There is more energy loss from old builder-grade windows than just about anything else in your home.
You can upgrade your heating and air, your appliances, that's good too. But before you do all that, upgrade your windows to Window World's energy-efficient windows.
Window World's windows are easy to clean, energy efficient, and have the best guarantee in the business.
Window World's slogan is simply the best for less, and we mean it. You get great American-made windows, and you get to keep more of your money when you buy from Window World. Need any more reasons to buy your windows from Window World? Call them today and set up your free in-home estimate, or go online to windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less.
Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On February 5th, 2012, in Super Bowl 46, the New York Giants beat the Patriots 21-17. The MVP, Eli Manning, after going 30 for 40, 296 yards.
Make someone's heart pop on Valentine's Day. Show your love with a bouquet of chocolate roses, chocolate-covered popcorn, or a box of decadent truffles. Peterbrook is taking pre-orders for chocolate-covered strawberries. So get your order in and get those hearts popping.
Hey, sports fans, this is Hayes Carlyon from MyBookie. The Chiefs and 49ers are gearing up for an epic showdown in Las Vegas, and you've got a front row seat with MyBookie. Whether you're aiming to cash in on the big game or just looking to have a good time with friends, MyBookie brings a true Vegas experience straight to you. With a huge selection of pregame bets, you can wager on everything from the opening coin toss to the color of Taylor Swift's sweater. MyBookie is a platform that offers something for everyone. You don't need to be a pro to turn sports and pop culture knowledge into real cash in your wallet. Sign up, make your first deposit today using promo code 1010XL, and choose from a variety of welcome offers to find one that suits your playstyle. You've got options. If you're itching for a sportsbook and casino that amplifies the thrill and maximizes your winnings, MyBookie is your MVP. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere from MyBookie. Don't forget that promo code 1010XL.
Everyone seems to be in a time crunch these days. Well, don't forget you can always count on the cold case at Daly's. Always convenient, always cold. Whether it's the king of beers, Natty Light, Stella, or Cigar City, or Goose Island or Bud Light Seltzer. Dash into Daly's and grab one to go.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. It's getting chilly outside, but you can enjoy the outside inside with a new glass lanai from Lifetime Enclosures, or look ahead and get that backyard ready for spring with a new screened-in enclosure. Maximize the space you have and make it great with Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. They truly are the best in the business. Give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, Roger Goodell continues with his press conference. Remember years ago at the Super Bowl, they used to, when it was Paul Tagliabue, used to have big parties after the Super Bowl. Remember the first one I went to was in New Orleans, 1996. That was the Packers over the Patriots, and it was pretty incredible. I don't know if Roger Goodell does that. And out there in New Orleans, that outstanding food, that's where I went last night, because you know what February is at the Blue Crab House? Mardi Gras month. Man, the gumbo is absolutely insane. Outstanding food up there last night. Just had a blast. So they do rest on this Monday. They'll be back after it tomorrow and throughout the remainder of the week. Make sure you check out the brand new Mardi Gras menu. And it's not a brand new one. It's something that they've done in their 27 years there, but they just keep adding on to the menu during Mardi Gras month. And that'll be going on the entire month of February. Again, right off of San Jose. It's on Julington Creek Road. Visit the good folks at the Blue Crab House. JJ Wasalva is here.
Hello.
The weather outside would tell us the Jaguars lost yesterday.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's like terrible because it's not raining, but the sun wasn't out, but I thought it was a great weekend.
Oh, it was awesome.
Sunday kind of sucked, early Sunday, but Saturday was amazing. Went to the beach, had drinks. It was just a great weekend. People love to complain football's not here or whatever. There was some great sports on as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, the golf got rained out Sunday, and they were going to try to continue it today out at Pebble. That didn't work. I guess all of California, and it's even gone through Nevada now, seeing all those pictures today in Las Vegas where they get almost no rain.
The grass that they're using for the game is outside right now, and they've had to cover that with tarp. That's the update on the turf situation in Las Vegas for you guys.
trying to keep the listeners updated as to what's going on with Roger Goodell and
I got
his
a couple
address.
things. That,
Well, how about this game in Brazil?
I was about to say,
on a
yeah.
Friday night?
So they announced opening weekend, which I'm assuming there's still the Thursday game, where it's usually like the team that won the Super Bowl or something like that opens on a Thursday night. This year we'll also have a Friday night game, which I'm sure high school football lovers all over America will love. Once again, the NFL just taking every day of the week. They will have an NFL game Friday night this year in Brazil with the Eagles, and it looks like it's going to be the Eagles potentially playing the Browns or the Steelers. That's not official, but word on the street, on these Twitter streets, is that it's going to be one of those teams.
All right, I've heard the Browns and I've heard the Bears.
Okay, I've heard the Steelers and the Browns.
Well, no, I've heard the Browns and the Bears as a possibility if Jacksonville does another home away, if they stay in London for 2 weeks, that those are two teams that I've heard mentioned that Jacksonville would face on the road. They're going to play at Wembley, then I don't even know where the other, I forget where it is, but
Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, there you
maybe.
go. Thank you. That if that could be one of their opponents. So if that is the case here now with Cleveland going to Brazil, then I think that would eliminate them as any possibility of that game being played in London. But
right, they don't make a team go twice. He was also asked about the refs. I could play it. It's about 60 seconds. You want to hear his answer on officiating?
Let me think. Is Roger Goodell worth 60 seconds of our
we
show?
can turn it off whenever you want.
Of course he is. Let's hear from our commissioner, Roger Goodell.
Oh, wow. That sound is like super far down. Sorry about that.
All right, never mind if we can't get it. I kind of like this.
Awful announcing. Ironically, their
it
Twitter
came from
is doing awful. But he said, we have some of the... First of all, they asked about Taylor Swift. Of course they did. Because they can't help themselves. He said she's brought a lot to the game. On NFL officiating, he said the level of scrutiny is at the highest I've ever seen it. I think our officials do a great job. I agree with one of those statements.
Stop it, Roger.
He said they're superior, but at the end of the day, no one's perfect. We have to continue to try to get better, use technology where we can.
Couple of things. Number one, Taylor Swift is awesome. I don't even know one song she sings, okay? I'm not into that, but you see her last night at the Grammys.
I didn't.
She's up singing every song. She knows every word of every song. She's like an artist's best friend. I mean, she's won 13 Grammys now, whatever, but to have her up singing your song, I would think it'd be quite an honor.
She's very likable.
Exactly.
Like to the everyman, to just like the random guy like me. I also couldn't name one Taylor Swift song, but I found all the hate to be odd and misplaced.
Yeah, listen, I love to get on people. I love to complain.
Me too. I'm a hater, naturally.
But I don't get it with her. She's a likable human being. She seems to promote others and seems very, very friendly. I just don't understand it. I honestly
think it's maybe one of those, when you love a song, I'm not even saying you have to have loved Taylor Swift, but when a song is played so much on the radio, you get tired of it, you start to hate it. I think it's just overexposure. We've been overexposed to Taylor Swift. I also think the same has happened to Patrick Mahomes. I've found that, and I guess I shouldn't be surprised by this, but I am, over the last month or few weeks since the playoffs started, the hate that I hear from just regular casual sports fans towards Patrick Mahomes. And just for no other reason than that he wins all the time.
Yeah, well, he's made it.
And it's sort of like, dang, he's at that Brady level.
He's at the Brady level. He's at the LeBron level.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, people dislike him because he is so successful, and they're tired of him. They're tired of the Chiefs. Now, his wife, in my opinion, I mean, there's a lot of hate towards his wife, but his wife comes across as annoying. His wife comes across as...
From the internet clips, yes.
Yes, totally opposite of Taylor Swift.
But I'll defend her always because she has been with Mahomes since he was like in middle school. Like
I know. I'm aware, yeah.
So she's like a day one, like she's been down. And so I love that kind of stuff. But if you watch, which I only watched like one episode of that quarterback documentary that they had on Netflix, it wasn't for us, like hardcore sports fan. It was, you could tell it was for the more casual. So I watched an episode and she came across normal as hell. I mean, the screaming in the press box, yes, very annoying. Jarring, you could say. But, yeah, she seemed fine. Honestly, both of them are like very down-to-earth, just regular Americans.
The other part of all of this is it's time, okay? Every time that I get into the officiating, it's time. Pay these officials more and forget just one pool reporter after a game. Allow them to be asked questions. Now, if you're scared that non-credible people are going to go in there and fire off this, fire off that, get in their face, then don't allow them in there or threaten to strip them of their credential. But you should. They're the only thing in sports outside of, I guess, Roger Goodell, who's helped, handpicked his media members here. The players get crushed, the coaches get crushed, the general managers get crushed. Some speak more than others. Jacksonville's actually really transparent outside of Trent Baalke, who, we did see speak, a week and a half ago. It took him forever to finally come forward, and you saw he got himself in a little bit of hot water by that whole Josh Allen deal. Again, if he had come out the week after the loss, the week after they didn't make the playoffs and brought up that Josh Allen story at that point, at that time, it wouldn't have registered. It wouldn't have moved the needle at all because it would have been so soon after the season. But you had 18 days go by, and it changes. My point is everyone is accountable for their actions and their decisions, except for these officials. They are so protected. And I just don't understand it. Why do they remain so protected? I'll never forget the story. I know I've told you this before. We got to head to a break, but when I was a sideline reporter, I don't know, what was it, 5-6 years ago, when Foles threw the touchdown pass and was landed on, I think it was Frank Clark who landed on him. And at halftime, I didn't know, I could not ask the referee a question. Well, he walked off the field into the tunnel, and I asked the ref, I said, why didn't you call a 15-yard personal foul? They just had come up with this rule about putting your entire body of weight on a quarterback. Remember when that came in? And I thought that hit on Nick Foles, there was no let-up as far as and he said, I'm not going to answer that question. And sure enough, it was like Monday morning, and I got a call, and I was I'm not going to say I was reprimanded for it, but I was told, you're not allowed to do that. I'm like, I'm not allowed to ask the referee? No, you're not. You're not allowed to ask. One pool reporter, if they feel it's necessary, gets assigned that responsibility after a game, regardless of what happens in Super Bowl 58. There may be 2,000 members of the media there. One member will be the pool reporter who has to go in and ask these questions to the head official, and that's that. Only one. And I mean, think about that. Think about the way your head works, my head works, everyone has different questions. Everyone wants answers to different questions. You can't put it all on just one person to come up with everything that they believe the public you want an answer to. So I'd love to see that change in every sport, frankly. Make them more accountable. They're just not. And you get the same thing. Oh, they're doing the best job they ever. They're not doing the best job. They make mistakes all the time. We talk about it. Unfortunately, I hate talking about officials. It comes up all the time. All right, let's get ready for our second hour. If you want to jump in, you can. Best way to do it is on our text line. That number is 641-1010. Brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
1010XL is here. 1010 AM. 1010XL is there. 92.5 FM. 1010XL is everywhere. 1010XL is where you want to be.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet love our community. That's right, we spread the love by giving back, and every year we give hundreds of thousands of dollars to our local community. Plus, we give all our customers lots of love, too. Every new vehicle purchase comes with a 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty, and every certified pre-owned vehicle comes with a 7-year, 100,000-mile loving warranty. Plus, we give the most loving for your trade. Help us to continue to spread the love and head to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville. We're here to wow you and give back.
Exciting news from All Pro Roofing. Effective right now. You can get an instant roof quote. Just click the Instant Roof Quote tab on their website. Whether you're in need of roofing, exterior siding, or windows, All Pro Roofing is your local partner for quality craftsmanship. Click the Instant Roof tab and voila! Get an instant quote. It's that simple. Click on the Instant Roof Quote tab today at allproroofingllc.com.
License number CCC 1327056.
CDC 060138. If you've played sports or still lead an active life, chances are joint pain is nothing new. This is Dr. George Barry of Barry Orthopedics, and we like to be your option when it comes to taking care of your body and getting back in the game. From shoulders to elbows to hip and knee pain, Barry Orthopedics can diagnose and treat a variety of injuries that are causing you pain. We are Barry Orthopedics and online at barryorthopedics.com. With more than 30 years of experience, our team is here to care for your entire family.
Find out more at barryorthopedics.com. That's BAHRI orthopedics.com.
Wow, John, my Clearwater sprinkler system looks great.
All right, Frank, let's go ahead and program your Rainbird timer. How many minutes do you want the zones to run?
John, I think we run from the front 20, the sides 15, the back 10, the garden 5. Clearwater scores!
Well, that's a first, Frank, but you're the boss.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage to
ClearwaterJacks.com.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. Call 904-722-1111.
Instant Keys saves the day if you've lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars. Make them your AC partner. With honest cost estimates before they start the work with no hidden fees. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
When the sun goes down, you might think a golf course shuts down, but not at the Golf Club of Southampton. Join the gang every Thursday night for trivia with Brooke and Jason, and everybody's favorite night, Friday night on the patio, featuring local musicians, food, and drink. It's all at the Golf Club of Southampton. Great golf. You've come to expect that. But don't forget, when night falls, the fun doesn't stop. Trivia every Thursday night and Southampton's live music patio session Fridays. Call 287-PLAY to make a tee time and the good time.
Need cash? Beaches Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all. Selling or pawning, get cash on the spot at Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Hi, everybody. Mike Dempsey here for Awaken 180 Weight Loss. This Sunday's the big game. Look, don't blame me. This would be much easier if I could say this has finally come. Parties, football, libations, food, all the festivities we welcome every February. The question is, what if you're trying to lose weight but still enjoy watching the with friends? The answer? Nothing. As I've told you before, Awaken 180 is built for real-life scenarios. The reason Awaken 180 is now in their 9th year and growing nationally, the program works. Eat wings and meatballs while watching the Super Bowl. Have a beverage while betting on the Super Bowl. Live your life while enjoying the Super Bowl. I think you get the point. Whether you're in the weight loss phase or in free lifelong maintenance, Awaken 180 won't get in the way of enjoying the big game. Reserve your consultation today at awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800 for Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Hicken here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheaper discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, Super Bowl week right here on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Big game coming up on Sunday. Kansas City and San Francisco. San Francisco favored. They've been favored in every game this year, and they're somewhere in the neighborhood of 1.5, 2 points, depending on where you shop. 9247 says, Ballou, Taylor Swift ignored Celine Dion when she gave her the Grammy. And I said last night, and the response was, yeah, they showed on Inside Edition. She got flack for it. I missed it.
I'll investigate.
I thought it was Mariah Carey. I saw Mariah Carey last night. I didn't see Celine Dion.
Yeah, it was Celine. She didn't really acknowledge her, I guess, but she was like going around hugging a bunch of people on stage.
Uh-oh.
And Celine like handed her the award. I don't know what she expected. All this stuff is just internet speculation.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna roll on the side of she was celebrating with everyone else on stage that she knew. She probably doesn't know Celine very well, so.
Tell you what bothered me last night. Did you watch any of it?
No.
Yeah, I typically don't. We got back from the Blue Crab House and it was on, and I watched it for a while until I switched over. The Jodie Foster, True Detective.
I did watch Curb Your Enthusiasm, which also was on HBO last night, but yes.
The True Detective based in Alaska.
I heard it's a very strange season.
You can't multitask.
Yeah.
You need to give it your undivided attention because it's and I don't even know what it is. Is it paranormal? Is it science? It's taken a turn that. But I'm just mesmerized because it's a couple of days before Christmas and it's in Alaska during the time of the year where there's no light at all.
Right, all day.
Yeah, it's dark 24 hours a day and night. And anyway, I've enjoyed it. But I watched a little bit of the Grammys and I'm like, the biggest part of it was Tracy Chapman and that Luke Combs dude. It's a cover. It like time stopped. It was like, oh, my God, this is the greatest thing ever. And she came out. It was kind of cool, but I'm like, it's a cover. And then they celebrate the lives of those that we have lost, and they do this huge Las Vegas-type show on Tina Turner, and they go to Proud Mary, which was a song written by John Fogerty. And I know that Tina sang it back in the day, but Tina had so many songs, especially in her comeback in like the 80s,
that are her songs.
Right. Why would you? So like most of the night was based on covers.
Well, Tracy Chapman, that's her song.
I got it. Right, but Luke Combs brought it back.
I didn't realize that it's like famous again.
Mm-hmm.
My girl had to tell me that recently that like, oh yeah, he brought it back. I didn't know
you
got
to get
anywhere.
up on the country. What's wrong with you?
I mean,
I'm all
just
over
love
country.
that song originally.
I have no problem with the song.
But so I guess they did it together, which reminds me of. Remember when Eminem didn't Eminem like cover or he used an Elton John song for one of his songs, and they ended up performing together on stage. That was like a huge thing. That was like 20 years ago. That was probably the last time I heard anything from the Grammys.
No.
Will Smith didn't slap anyone.
No. No.
Unfortunately.
This is the Proud Mary, and I love Proud Mary. It was an original Creedence song. It's very telling. But I'm like, this is Tina Turner, man. I needed her up there. I needed someone up there telling me that I'm your private dancer, a dancer for money. I'll do what you want me to do, right? I'm your private dancer, a dancer for money. Any old music will do. That's what I needed. I needed original Tina Turner, not Proud Mary. I mean, and again, Proud Mary, CCR came out with it in like 1969. So that would have meant that Tina Turner and her ex-husband, I'm guessing that would have been relevant in 1970, 1971, something along those lines. But anyway, that is what did take place last night at the Grammys. Fast Cars by Tracy Chapman was the first song I learned on acoustic guitar. Legendary song. Yeah, very good song. And I guess she doesn't make a lot of appearances. I guess that was kind of the shock value of the night. They kept pimping Joni Mitchell, like coming up as Joni Mitchell. And I'm like, this is great. She's going to sing both sides now, right? How the clouds got in the way and how she still doesn't know love. And as it turns out, she still doesn't know life after all. And they just kept passing by. I mean, it was like some new act would be up and then another act, like coming up is Joni Mitchell. I don't know if they ever got to Joni Mitchell. I don't know if they ever got to Billy Joel. It's like he wrote his first song in 17 years. And because again, I switched over to the True Detective, which in itself is getting kind of crazy. Let me be crystal clear about this. I want Doug Peterson to survive. I want the Jaguars to survive. But Mike Vrabel being out there is very, very tempting. I think Mike Vrabel, the whole Belichick thing, we've kind of been through. He's 72. He'll be 73. Belichick, you would think, would have an opportunity to pick his job. He's going to go someplace where he has a great quarterback. I happen to believe that Belichick just isn't going to stick around for the 15 wins. I think his ego is put him in a place where he believes he can win a Super Bowl, and obviously win a Super Bowl without Tom Brady. I mean, you look at the hot seat, Jacksonville's going to be on it, Doug Peterson's going to be on it, but you're going to have Dallas, you're going to have Buffalo, you're going to have Philadelphia. Who knows about – I read a story yesterday. What if Andy Reid retired? Would they go to Eric Bieniemy, who was let go today in D.C.? Could it be Bill Belichick in Kansas City? Could it be Mike Vrabel in Kansas City? I, again, don't want Doug Peterson to go anywhere. I want this thing to work. But if it does implode, just think about that one for a second. Mike Vrabel is going to not be out for a long time. He is certainly going to come back in the very near future. I didn't pay attention really at all to the Pro Bowl. Did you check in on that over the weekend at all?
No, I didn't.
Neither did I. I know they did a lot of skill events and tug of war and dodgeball and a bunch of games, and that's fine. It's just really not mine. Anything that I'm interested in. I did pay a little bit of attention to what was going on in the NHL with their skill competition, and Connor McDavid is an absolute freak. There's no other way to say it. There's really no other way to say it. I mean, a big body for Connor McDavid. I think when this thing is all said and done, he's got a chance to enter Wayne Gretzky, Gordie Howe, Bobby Orr, Mario Lemieux territory. I want to put Alex Ovechkin in there, but to me, Ovechkin's a little bit like a Phil Esposito, a guy who just scored a ton of goals, didn't really have a lot of assists. I think, both Hulls deserve some recognition, right? Rocket Richara, but now I'm getting down a little bit. I'm talking about Mount Rushmore. Yager on there. Sidney Crosby. And Connor McDavid, look at it. Look at what he's doing. And he's buried. He's out in Canada. He's buried. Yeah, I mean, imagine if he played in New York. Imagine if he played in a true American NHL city. I'm not trying to take anything away from playing out where the game was invented in Canada, but imagine if he was in Hockeytown. Imagine if he was playing in Detroit. Or imagine if he was in Chicago or Boston or one of the original six, the New York Rangers. The attention on him would be just nothing short of amazing. But just to see how he can skate at that size, well, it's just absolutely phenomenal. I mean, truly one of the greatest athletes in the world and certainly the best hockey player right now in the world. Yada, yada, yada. Some people giving me definitions of Luke Combs, Tracy Chapman. I don't know if I want to go there. Luke Combs has something in the ear tonight. So he does, so Luke Combs does nothing but covers? Does he write any of his original music? I mean, is he like the modern-day Joe Cocker? You know what I mean? Joe Cocker was like a strung-out, drugged-up lounge singer, and all he did was steal. And, oh, my goodness, Joe Cocker.
With a little help from my friend.
She came in through the bathroom window. Yeah, it's like he's in a smoky lounge, and everyone loved him. Did Joe Cocker, even, what was it, Officer and a Gentleman? Love if you love where we belong. It's like the guy wrote nothing. But somehow he had the vocal cords that you wanted representing him. Is that Luke Combs? I don't know anything about Luke Combs. But I guess he's big. On these covers.
He's huge. Oh, I don't know about that. I just know he's massive right now. Somebody did. I was sort of right. Elton John surprisingly showed up and sang Dido's chorus on the song Stan. Love that song. It was in the midst of, I remember Eminem was getting flack for using gay slurs and stuff like that. So Elton John was like, hey, we're performing together. Everything's cool.
So Elton drowned that out then. I don't even remember the story.
Elton got him uncanceled.
Okay. Eminem doesn't care. You see him giving the bird to the...
No, this was a very, very long time ago.
I'm talking about last week when they had the lead.
He didn't care back then.
Against San Francisco, though, he's like in his private booth with the double birds, all those San Francisco fans.
Yeah, he's super cringy, man, at this point. It's like... He's like 50-something years old.
Is he really that old?
He's got to be, right?
God, I don't know.
He's 51.
He was never really my thing, Eminem.
Not your generation, for sure.
But some of that stuff he put out, a lot of people really enjoyed.
Yeah, his first few albums to me were amazing.
Have a quote here from Roger Goodell. On diversity, quote, we still have a lot of work to do.
I saw that.
We're not satisfied. So this year he handpicked the media members so no one would come out and ask him directly about why there is no African Americans at NFL Network or NFL.com, or at least a large gap. And the reporter who asked that question in consecutive years, Jim Trotter, is no longer employed by NFL media. But the good news is I taped this. I'm going to be able to go home tonight and snuggle up and watch this great press conference.
Wow. Now that's something you really got to look forward to if you're a girl. Text her, hey, baby, I'm coming home. Pour me a glass of wine. We're going to put on the Goodell tape.
Yeah, it's like Neil Young on Love in the Rocks. Pour me a drink and I'll tell you some lies.
It's a panty dropper, bro.
That's Roger Goodell. I mean, I'm going to come home and that's exactly what it is.
The propaganda king himself.
Pour me some drinks and I'll tell you some lies. Let's listen to the NFL commissioner, Roger Goodell. I have that to look forward to when I get home.
He did say something that I like. They asked about streaming, and we had a playoff game that was only streaming exclusively on Peacock a couple weeks ago. So he was asked about the potential of a Super Bowl being exclusive to a streaming site, and he did say it'll certainly not happen in his tenure.
That's a stand.
Because we know he's got a lifetime deal, so that's at least 30 more years.
Roger Goodell, latest there.
I also think that's a stupid thing to say, to make a stand like that, unless you're just planning on only being there for a few more years. You don't know what the landscape of television is going to be in 10 years. I could easily see in 10 years no one even having TV. Like it'll all be streaming. But
So
the Lord has spoken.
So just nothing at all as far as television.
No, he's saying, I think we'll have NBC, we'll have all the same channels, but I think it'll all just be streaming.
Or it
You know
could
what
be
I'm
something
saying?
even more advanced that we haven't even done to figure out yet.
I don't know if you've seen any of the videos this weekend from the new Apple VR device that people put over their heads and how they're watching NBA League Pass and the NFL with this device over their head. Dude, it's badass. I would never wear those goggles, but the second they make it so you don't have to, I don't know if the technology is even close to that, but man, it's a game changer. You're just with your fingers, you're moving your screen to the left, to the right, you're making it bigger, you're bringing in another game. You're watching 2 games at once, you're looking at stats. It's like having your phone or a laptop up, but without having your laptop or your phone up, being all clunky with wires and everything. Everybody needs to go check those videos out. The future is awesome for sports watching.
Remember when the internet came in, you had to wait for it to boot? And you'd have that bottom right, the bottom right blotter. You'd watch it increase, and it would buffer and get stuck. I don't even think we had the word buffer back then. I think that kind of came. That's kind of like new language, technically speaking. But yeah, it's just I can't even imagine what it's going to be like in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years.
Right.
I mean, are we going to get to the point where sooner or later in life we literally have individual flying machines as opposed to driving cars that we're actually in tiny little, one or two seater jets that all of a sudden are going to be, and just think about what that'll be like. Who knows what's going to happen? May sound crazy to people, but
the reason I don't think that is because my dad was thinking the exact same thing when he was my age, and that never happened. And cars from have cars from the 70s and 80s to now really evolved that much? Has our technology to be able to move really evolved that much? I don't think it has. I think we're kind of that flying cars thing, that ain't happening. Not anytime soon.
What I want is for someone to tell us, for all you players out there, how can you be at 2 places at one time? That's what I want to know. You got a blonde on one edge of town, and you got a brunette on the. How are you
in the metaverse? You could totally do that,
right? How can you be 2 places at once? And that's going to be the biggest mystery because time and travel. I don't think they're, you like the old.
Now we're getting deep.
The old Star Trek. The beam me up, Scotty.
Of course.
Is there ever logic says no. There's no way that we can just disintegrate you right now and in 10 minutes you're at the Roger Goodell press conference in Las Vegas. I just can't see how anything like that is going to happen.
No, but virtually, yes. We could be sitting in our living room and then be virtually transported to, hey, you're in SoFi Stadium watching the Super Bowl or whatever it's called in Vegas watching the Super Bowl. That's coming.
We need to take a break.
We do.
We need to do that, no doubt. Who do they got here? Just keeping an eye on what's going on right now at the Super Bowl. So they're actually meeting tonight with both teams. All right, it is a whirlwind. This event, and I get where if you haven't been there, and I know San Francisco was there 4 years ago, and Kansas City's literally now becoming, the latest New England Patriots. But it is a lot to ask. If you're not a friend of the media or you just despise anything that is the media, the other side of it is it's a great opportunity to pave the way for what you might want to do in your future. If you're really, really good and you take advantage of this and you get noticed, these playing careers end.
Marshawn Lynch, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, he was already famous for being a goofy guy, but that I'm just here so I don't get fined whole night really made him a household name.
Yep.
And now look at him. He's everywhere.
There's no doubt. All right, we got much more to do with you tonight till 8 o'clock. He's JJ. My name's Rick Ballou.
Live play-by-play sports were made for radio.
Well, there is advertising worth the price of admission.
And 1010XL was made for you.
Ballou here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Care you can see.
When it comes to a new roof, you want the golden standard. Look no further than Golden Hammer Roofing and Gutters. With our unbeatable 5-year warranty, you can enjoy peace of mind knowing your roof is protected for years to come. And guess what? Our team can complete most roofs in just 1 day. That's right, you won't have to worry about long and disruptive construction projects.
Golden Hammer Roofing and Gutters.
Golden Hammer.
The golden standard in roofing.
Superior Fence and Rail knows about exceptional customer service. From the first call to the final inspection, Superior's team provides first-class care with great communication, friendly installers, and quality fence products. There's a reason why Superior is the top-rated fence company in Jacksonville. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail for your new fence today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Visit Monahan Jewelers now through Valentine's Day for savings on all GIA certified diamonds and discounts store-wide up to 40% off. And interest-free financing on all purchases. Certified diamonds, gemstones, engagement rings, diamond studs, designer brands. Monahan's has it all. We're not a chain store. We're your local family jeweler since 1977 with a world-class inventory of fine jewelry and diamonds and gemstones available in any size. Support your local family jeweler now through Valentine's with huge savings on our inventory. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Have you tried golfing at the improved Cimarron Golf Club? If you haven't, tell you what, you're missing out on the best deal in Jacksonville. Now, many of you have received a postcard in the mail, and of course, if you bring that with you, $45 plus tax to play. That includes a cart lunch and a beer at the brand new Stone Barrel Tap House. Now, go to the website, that is CimarronGolfClub.com, and sign up for the Wild One Loyalty Program. That's the Wild One Loyalty Program, and get all of these specials emailed to you from Cimarron.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On February 5th, 2012, in Super Bowl 46, the New York Giants beat the Patriots 21-17. The MVP, Eli Manning, after going 30 for 40, 296 yards.
This is Hayes Carline for SkyLife Elite. Are you tired of canceled flights, unruly passengers, and layovers? Call my friends at SkyLife Elite. Consider using private charter flights for your next adventure. Yes, you can afford it. Make your own schedule. Fly direct. Drive your car to Craig Airport and get directly on the plane. SkyLife Elite can make that happen. Call 490-9332, go to flyskylife.com, and find them on social media. Fly SkyLife Elite, North Florida's premier private air charter.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Wondering what you're going to do for dinner tonight? Southern Steer Butcher is a full-service butcher, and we grind and make sausage in-house every day.
Now open in Ortega. For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
Hear the Florida Gators all season on 1010XL. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. 1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
West Coast golf, made our way through California. Now we head over to Phoenix. And bad news, the number 4, number 5 players in the world have both announced that they will not be participating. Victor Hovland is out. Xander Schauffele is out now at the Phoenix Open. Of course, rain came to Pebble, and that ruined things on Sunday, as well as we thought we were going to have the final 18 holes here on Monday. But when you look at TPC Scottsdale and the tournament, Scotty Scheffler is going to be there. Last week's winner, after 54 holes, Wyndham Clark, ranked 6th in the world, is going to be there. Max Homa at 8. Matt Fitzpatrick at 9, and Brian Harman at 10. You also have JT, Jordan, Ricky Fowler, Adam Scott. But I'm really interested. I've always maintained that if Duke plays North Carolina in basketball, like we saw on Saturday, it doesn't matter who you put in the uniform. The fans are going to be there. If Florida State Florida State played Georgia. We all know what happened with all those players who opted out. It's still the school. It's still the team. I was asked about NASCAR last week. I covered every Daytona 500. I bet I've covered 25 in my life. And with Miller Lite, up until COVID, they had a terrace suite right behind pit row. And every year, I would go to the Daytona 500 because they were some of the best seats in the house. And it was, all you could eat, all you could drink. It was just a blast. Okay? I've kind of removed myself from that. And I almost never talk NASCAR. These names are not recognizable to me the way they once were. The Players is coming up in less than 6 weeks. And when you start taking Max Homa out, you start taking John Rahm out and Tyrell Hatton out, and, we saw what happened last year with Bryson DeChambeau, and, last year's winner in Cameron Smith, or 2 years ago the winner in Cameron Smith, and Phil Mickelson. Get rid of all these players. I still think, even though it's not like the Phoenix Open and how that's like a fraternity party, especially over 16, but it's got a Wrigley Field feel to it. It's got a Fenway Park feel to it. I think you get some of that at the Players around 17, although I think it's a little bit more advanced. I think it's a little bit more educated, if that makes any sense. I don't think it's a frat party. I think there's respect for the tournament, and myself included. I love it. I love the Players. It is just incredible. And I think we'll see that there'll be record-setting tickets. There'll be record-setting money going to charity, and they'll come through. Really, I'm sure the only concern they really have at this point, again, is the weather. It seems like every year in March, you get bad weather. It just happened. It's happening in Phoenix, and it's going to happen here. There's going to be a rain delay on Thursday. You just know it. It happens every year. But I do. I wonder, what is it going to be like down the road? Is Jacksonville in a position where the Players will always be the Players, regardless of who's playing, because the event is so great? The course is gorgeous. Being around 17 with friends, it's a party. Or are you going to start to lose appeal a little bit because these recognizable golfers, the top golfers in the world, all of a sudden gets cut in half? You remember forever, JJ, you'd have 48, 49 of the top 50 golfers here every single year. The only guys who didn't play were because if there was an injury. Now you're not going to have that with the Live. You're going to be missing 10. I can't bring it up now. I can't remember it now. But last year on Thursday, during the first round, I remember looking at the leaderboard, and I was like, who in the hell is on the leaderboard at day one at the Players' Championship?
Yeah, a lot of people are speculating that Hovland and Xander are not playing this week, and they're going to Live. Liv's having their tournament this week during the Super Bowl in Las Vegas. They were the story of golf this weekend. They had a night finish after a 4 playoff hole because PGA didn't even have a finish. They have John Rahm, Cam Smith, DJ,
playing in
Phil,
shorts,
Sergio, like a 1,000 big names. Yeah. This whole hey, Live is a joke thing. Say whatever you want, man, but there's great golf over there.
No.
And it sucks that if Hovland's also not here and Xander's also not here in March, man, that sucks.
It really does. It's, I think in team athletics, you can get away with just the team, and you play for the team. I mean, it doesn't matter who the Jaguars sign. Doesn't matter who the Jaguars bring in, coach or players. You're going to root for them. Doesn't matter who the Gators or the Seminoles or the Canes or the you're going to root for them. But when you get to individual golfers, so many of these players are robotic. They look the same. They act the same. Very little swagger. Really lacking personality. And I'm not trying to diminish the product. That's not my attempt here. I'm going to sell the living snot out of this. Okay? I mean, this is a phenomenal event. But in a way, it's seriously, it's like the Rolling Stones are coming to town. Oh, by the way, Mick Jagger's not singing. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't want to make light of the fact that Charlie Watts passed as a drummer, or that Bill Wyman, who was their bassist for 40-some-odd years, no longer is on bass.
But it's different.
It's different. It is different. But you take Mick Jagger away, then all of a sudden it's like, is this really the Rolling Stones that I'm saying? You start taking these guys away.
Well, first off, they can no longer do the whole, we have the best field in golf. That's just not even close to true anymore because now all the majors have all the guys from Live, or at least like the biggest, best names from Live. If you don't have the number 2, arguably the best player in the world in John Rahm, you don't have the greatest field in golf. You don't even have a close one. You don't have Cam Smith there. No. He just won your tournament like 2 years ago.
He lives here.
He lives here. Look at last year's Masters, okay? Look at the top 10. I think it's like 7 players are from Live. Like 6 out of the first top 7 players are all Live golfers,
I know.
Dude. I know people will say, well, the Masters is the easiest tournament. I don't give a damn, man. Like those are the best of the best out there. That's what we care about is the majors and the guys who perform in the majors. So, yes, it's cool that, the PGA Tour has some rookie come on tour and win last week. But, man, I really would rather see John Rahm here than whatever the hell that rookie's name is.
There's no doubt. And, I don't want to get off on this, well, I'm going after everyone in leadership, right? I mean, my questions 2 weeks ago to Trent Baalke. I think I made myself perfectly clear how I feel about Roger Goodell, who just met with the media. Jay Monahan, as the commissioner of the PGA Tour, is a total, complete joke. He lives here in town. He should not be the commissioner of the PGA Tour. He let everyone down. And now that they got this huge, investment, $1.5 billion, and it could be worth $3 billion. All right, he made up some ground, but he totally let down the players on their tour. It's a PGA Tour. It's their tour. And he screwed them over. And somehow he convinced a guy like Rory McIlroy to totally backtrack. Rory had a chance for once in his life to stick out his chest and make a statement, and he succumbed. He gave up. He's gone back and basically apologized to the Live guys. He's saying he still trusts Jay. Talk about right in the middle of the fence. And I think he's lost a lot. I think he's lost a lot of fans because of it. I mean, he's just looked at differently. And the other side of this is you can legitimately say if Rory McIlroy went to Live, he'd probably make $500 million. He'd probably get a paycheck for $500 million if he elected to go there. And you remember the whole blood money and all? Bro, that's gone.
You don't hear about that anymore.
It's gone. Things change. I mean, I remember when you and I'm not to go back and revisit it is to simply make a point. Dropping a knee for the national anthem. I heard from you all, and I'm friends with a lot of people in the police force in town. I'm friends, and I come from a military background where my dad served in the Army, where my mom's father, my grandfather served in the Navy, okay? And I respect the military. I love the military. But when you drop to, I heard it all. Maybe you, honestly, maybe for a year, maybe you stop going to some games. I can't remember the last time someone asked me about that. You went back. It's the same thing here with Liv. All that blood money, everything from Saudi, it's gone. People got over it. People have their own problems. They have their own issues. They don't worry about that stuff.
Especially when they heard, hey, Monahan and the PGA are about to take this money. You know, they're still working on a merger. So it's like, wait, the tour that we were so adamantly defending is now doing the thing that we were supposed to be arguing against. So, like, of course you don't hear that from the PGA talking heads anymore because it doesn't fit their argument.
I'm looking at the come on, give me the score. I'm trying to get Live scores, and it's kind of
oh, it's difficult.
Yeah, it's kind
They'll
of
give you,
amusing.
like, the
it's
team score, and it's like I don't care about that.
It's kind of buried. Yeah, you got to look for it.
All right, so I have it up in front of me.
But you just look at some of the names. Yeah,
Sergio were in like 4 playoff holes yesterday. John Rahm apparently bogeyed like the last 2 holes to drop out and lose on his debut. Yeah.
Neiman shot a 59. Bryson DeChambeau, it says here, and it was 5 strokes better than Patrick Reed. Patrick Reed's a great example. Patrick Reed is like the bad boy of golf. I love Patrick Reed, and I love him for that reason. I've always kind of leaned the way of bad guys. Okay, I can't tell you why that is. It's something inside my brain that I'm not necessarily proud of, but I am never not going to tell you the truth. Okay, I read all these James Patterson books and John Sanford books and C.J. Bott. I find myself oftentimes rooting for the criminal. I don't know why. I don't support. I'm not a criminal. I don't want to be a criminal. But I just.
Maybe that's why you live vicariously through them.
Well, it was first discovered when I was a kid, when I was like the only one out of my friends who always rooted for the heel in wrestling. Oh, my gosh, look at Bob Backlund. He's going to get you in a chicken wing. Oh, my God, look at Pedro Morales. He's going to get you in a rolling river and get a 3 call. I'm like, screw that, man. Look at Jesse the Body Ventura and Adrian Adonis. And give me Blackjack. Give me the bad guys. Give me Captain Lou Albano and Freddie Blassie and the Grand Wizard. I want the bad guys.
You know, Liv got another semi-bad guy. They got Terrell Hatton.
Okay. Big
He's
name.
the guy who blows up on the course. You know, we haven't even mentioned Brooks Koepka, who I totally forgot's even on Liv. But, like, the guy is, if not the most famous American golfer right now, he's certainly one of them.
You know, all right, we need to take a break.
We do.
But you know what's scary? If you were to go to any bar, any saloon or salon right now, and go up to the person next to you that you think is a fan of golf, and you said to him, who won last year's Players? What do you think the percentage of the people would be who would know the answer to that question?
Bro, I'm having a hard time remembering it right now.
He's the #1 ranked golfer in the world.
Okay, Scotty won. Okay.
But that's kind of my point. You put me on the spot a few months ago, asking me who won the NCAA college basketball tournament a year ago, and I was like, Connecticut won it? It's like, it just, And again, I'm not trying to bite the hand that feeds me. I'm always trying to promote, but it's different. It's different right now. And I'm concerned. I think you'll get record-setting tickets. I think you'll get record-setting money for charity, and you'll hear that everything is just wonderful. But I'd be lying to you if I told you I'm not concerned about the future.
If you bleed teal and black, we've got your back. 1010XL 92.5 FM, home of the Jaguars.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet love our community. That's right, we spread the love by giving back, and every year we give hundreds of thousands of dollars to our local community. Plus, we give all our customers lots of love, too. Every new vehicle purchase comes with a 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty, and every certified pre-owned vehicle comes with a 7-year, 100,000-mile loving warranty. Plus, we give the most loving for your trade. Help us to continue to spread the love and head to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville. We're here to wow you and give back.
Dave Binion here with my son Ammon, who is the air duct cleaning manager at Zero Res. So Ammon, you may notice a little rattle in my voice and some puffiness in my eyes. That's because allergy season is coming on. Can Zero Res help?
Yes, your health has a lot to do with the air you breathe. A clean and healthy home begins with clean air. At Zero Res, we can help clean the air in your home by cleaning your air ducts, cleaning the coils in your HVAC units, and fogging the system with a powerful antimicrobial that helps kill and control the growth of microorganisms in your air. We also have options for maintaining your clean air with our excellent inline air purifier and UV lights that will help keep your system clean and healthy. At Zero Res, we are more than just air duct cleaners. We're a clean air specialist.
So, what deals do you have this month?
Right now, get $100 off your air duct cleaning, and while we're at it, we'll give you $50 off your dryer vent cleaning.
Zero Res.
Spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
CEROREC. Zero Res.
With modern smart home technology, you can control almost everything from the palm of your hand or your voice. Call the experts at Mr. Sparky.
Call 888-8-Sparky.
Your on-time electrician, Mr. Sparky of the First Coast.
Local 234 Plumbers, Pipe Fitters, and HVAC Technicians is now taking applications for their state-certified apprenticeship program. As an apprentice, you'll receive excellent benefits, higher pay, job placement, and even earn college credit. The 5-year programs include plumbing, pipe fitting, welding, and HVAC. A career as a journeyman means stability and security. For more information, visit ua234.com/apprenticeship. Local 234. Make the right connection.
Hey, it's Angela and Brian Wall. How many companies do you know in this day and age that actually want their potential customers to call their competition and get quotes from them?
That's what WonderWorld wants you to do. WonderWorld knows there are other window companies out there, but we also know those other guys. When compared to WonderWorld, they can't offer you the quality at the price that WonderWorld can.
And with WonderWorld, you get the absolute best guarantee there is in the window replacement business.
If anything goes wrong with your new WonderWorld windows, 5 years from now, 10, 15, 50, WonderWorld and I will be there to fix it for you. You get peace of mind with WonderWorld, and to top it off, WonderWorld windows increase the value of your home. So look what you get with WonderWorld. Quality windows, low price, the best guarantee in the business, energy savings, and an increase in the value of your home. A win-win for you.
Call Window World today and get your free in-home estimate, or see them online at windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
For the first time ever, the biggest game of the year happens in the state of Nevada. 1010XL's coverage is brought to you by Window World of Northeast Florida. Simply the best for less.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
Hey, this is David here with Royal Pest Services. Do you have that room in the house that is just too cold in the winter and just too hot in the summer? To learn about our pest-rated insulation, visit RoyalPestServices.com or call 886-2847.
Good people drink good beer, and great people drink Mokama.
a refined craft brewery out of Fernandina Beach, Florida. Mocama Beer Company brings sophisticated flagship beers, including Cosmico IPA and Dune Garden Lager, to the greater Jacksonville area. Whether you're hitting the water with friends or enjoying a backyard barbecue, Mocama has the perfect pair for your summer activities. Look for us wherever great beers are sold and find your Mocama.
This is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about how God never fails us. In the Bible, Christ says this: I will in no way fail you or leave you without support. This is so important to remember because we can have the attitude, where is God when I need him? Why is this problem happening to me? No, just because your mind is saying one thing doesn't mean that God isn't going to do what he said. God has never failed us in the past. He's not about to start right now.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
We don't have too many cold nights on the First Coast, but when the temperature drops, you want to hit the heat button and warm up. That's where Florida Home comes in. They're the AC experts in Jacksonville, and the importance of keeping your heating system in good working order is really important. If it stops working when it gets cooler, Florida Home will leap into action and provide you with the best solution. Heater and heat pump repair service and new system installation. They do it all. Just call Florida Home AC at 777-4300, the official heating and AC partner of the Jaguars.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the 2-minute drill. Brought to you by Tire Outlet. Tire Outlet is now hiring. Visit TireOutlet.com/careers. Equal opportunity employer.
All right, first full week of the month of February. It is also Super Bowl week, and we found out that it does rain in the desert.
How about Media Day being on Monday night? I didn't realize they do it on Monday nights now.
They don't. Well, I guess Roger Goodell had his, and both teams are going to go out and meet the media.
Yeah,
so.
Tonight at the stadium, yeah.
Which is messed up because you and I have been to many Super Bowls. I mean, a lot of people begin to arrive tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow and Wednesday are kind of the arrival days, and Media Day is over by then. I guess Goodell with some news tonight that Philadelphia, a Friday night game to open up the season in Brazil. So you're going to have Thursday night, Friday night, Sunday, and Monday to kick off week 1 of the NFL season.
And people don't understand that even though Pennsylvania, there's that small little area that produce, Joe Namath and Dan Marino and all that. For the most part, in that part of the country, high school football is not respected. I played 2 Friday night games in my life. One as a sophomore and one as a senior. We played games at high noon on Saturday. So down here, it's like, what are they doing? Why you have college football on Friday night, the NFL on Friday? Friday night should be for Friday Night Lights and the show that you do covering high school football. But it's fringe in so many other places in our country, including where I'm from.
Yeah, it's a good point. And, all we know is Florida, Georgia, Texas, Alabama, where we live. Friday night football is a big, big deal, but as you mentioned, up in the Northeast, maybe not as big a deal. It'll be interesting having a game kick off in Brazil. Friday night NFL, I'm not sure about it, but I guess it'll grow on me, and people are saying, well, the Jaguars play at Philadelphia. There is a better chance of me becoming an astronaut than the Jaguars playing that game in Brazil, because the Jaguars already are going to play 2 games in Europe, presumably. There is no way the NFL would make them go to South America, too.
I hope not.
Oh, my gosh.
Man, I have to believe not. And, I'm kind of hoping that for them, they will only play 1 game in London. But, last year they had success there by winning both. So who knows what's going to take place. All right, what else you got coming up tonight?
We got a lot of Jaguars. Obviously, Dave Campo coming up, Monday Night Coaching with Campo. We'll talk Jags and the Super Bowl. Garrett Padell of CBS Sports. He gave me a couple of nuggets, Rick, real quick. Do you know how many 8-3 teams since the year 2000 went on to miss the playoffs like the Jaguars did this year?
Oh, boy. Since you ask it that way, I'll say 3.
6. The Jaguars were the 6th team, which I thought was interesting. Another thing Podell gave me, Josh Allen accumulated for 44% of the Jaguar sacks this year, which was by far and away the most for any single player on any team. And then finally, I thought this one was really good. 54 players declared for the NFL draft, juniors and such out of college. Compare that to 2019, when over 140 guys declared for the NFL draft. Goes to show you the power of NIL and the power of the transfer portal.
Guys are getting paid. They're not leaving. It does make a lot of sense. So, hey, maybe that's better for our future as far as college football, especially with the 12-team college football playoff. Have a fun show tonight.
Thanks, Rick.
I appreciate all of you as well. I never check the text line now that the show is over, but I'm always available on Twitter and/or X. You can always get me there, Ballou1010XL. I almost always respond. All right, so you can get me anytime, Ballou1010XL on Twitter. Tomorrow night, after Helmets and Heels, the rest of the week, we are with you from 6 until 8, right here in your home of the Jags. Thank you to JJ LaSalva. My name's Rick Ballou. We'll talk with you tomorrow on a Tuesday.
XL.
We move forward starting right now. We start becoming a team right now.
Jacksonville